Hanson.
Here.
Kane.
Here.
McDermott.
Here.
Pingleton.
Here.
Thank you. Open meeting compliance statement read.
I, the undersigned clerk of the Board of Education of the Alva Independent School District, number 1 of Woods County, Oklahoma, certify that prior to December 15th of the last calendar year, the date, time, and place of this regular meeting was filed in the office of the County Clerk of Woods County, Oklahoma. I also certify that at least 24 hours prior to this meeting, excluding Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, notice of the date, time, place, and agenda of this meeting was posted in prominent public view in the office of the superintendent.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Mr. Brashears, for being here. He's here to watch us conduct our meeting, so we must be impressive, okay?
Happy anniversary, by the way.
Yeah. You know, this is what
Everybody wanted to do it.
everybody wants to do on their anniversary.
And hang out with us.
But again, I really, all joking aside, thank you for being here. We're going to have you here to help us in any way we keep us out of jail and keep things going in the right direction. Item number 3, consent agenda. All of the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature, normally approved by one board vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, and approval of the following. There are no additional items of new business to the agenda. I trust that all of you have had a chance to read the minutes of the May 8th special meeting. I didn't see anything on those that was out of line. Approval of the finance report, it's listed here for your perusal. And approval of there is no extra duty assignment schedule. Approval of the activity fund. Let's see, fund report. We do have something there for you to look at as well. A couple of them, and we'll go over those. Fundraisers, we have some of those. Let's look at the activity fund report. Let's go over that just a little bit. Normally we look at these in pretty good depth. In the finance report, Ms. Argo left me a note that said we'll have a projected carryover of $5 million, which is good. It's down a little bit from last year. I think last year we carried over $6 million. So we'll be carrying over, which is good. We should be proud of ourselves and know that in times with so much increasing costs, all of you have done very well in keeping us pretty steady. We do have $3.5 million saved and into the building fund for some of our future projects. So we're good there as well. And child nutrition is at $160,000. I've been on the board at times when that was zero. So again, we've been able to, most of you remember, remodel the cafeteria with our child nutrition money. And so we were able to build up some money in that area, which is kind of unusual. So we're glad to have that in there as well. All of the comparisons, I'm not going to go over each one of those or how much you've spent, revenue, expenses like we normally do. That stuff is in here for you to look at, and I trust that you've already looked at it. Now we're on activity fund reports, and there's very little activity in any of that, as you can see this time of year. And the note said that Mrs. Hall is in the process of doing all the end of year stuff, so we know that it will get real busy pretty close. Below, there are some fundraisers. Let's look at the activity fund fundraisers. We do look at those usually. We've added one this year, simply just with new personnel as well as the basketball and changes of the AD and all of that. You can see that it's there in front of you. Coach Kimberlin has asked to do a fundraiser, a shoot-a-thon, where all the money raised there will be used for to send the boys basketball to camps in June. So it was not put in earlier, but we would ask, if you approve the consent agenda, that we add that to our fundraisers. We've kind of grown in the fundraising business again, just simply because things are high. So we'll do an in-depth look as soon as Mrs. Hall gets that all put together, we'll do an in-depth look at our fundraisers and see where we're at. We'll see if some of that we can move over to general fund if we had the money to do so, and take the load off of our community. So I appreciate all of you, appreciate our people are so willing to do whatever it takes to make sure our kids get to do what our kids need to do. And therefore, our community is very supportive. So I don't want to act like I don't think I'm really proud about the activity fundraisers, but again, that is a big load and a big area for obviously Mrs. Hall as well. There are no inter-account transfers. We talked about, each time we talk about the child nutrition report, again, that just wraps up May. It looks like everything's just pretty steady. And we will see that we'll approve our contract hopefully later in the meeting for our food service group. And so I think, as we can see in child nutrition, it looks good. We are losing our child nutrition coordinator, but I think we're in the process maybe of hiring another one, which is good. We do have some surplus today. And if you want to pull up that list right there, the band has some surplus items, that list, as well as library, Washington. So if all of you don't want objects, we will put those in surplus and probably in storage, wherever surplus goes. So, all right, that's all of item number 3. And so, do we have any questions to talk about there?
On the surplus, do they have any way to fix anything, or why are the different pieces of equipment being surplus? Are they just not good anymore, or are these fixable things, and do we have other pieces of equipment coming in to replace?
You know, that's a very good question. I look at a flute, a trumpet, and
There's baritones.
trombones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why those couldn't be sold, but I don't. Let's find that out and come back and talk about it. Because I really don't know. Do you know?
No,
Nice wonder.
Some of those pieces are beyond repair, which is why they're on the surplus list. I mean, you know, Mrs. Kane can attest that, you know, trumpet gets to a point where there's not a lot you can do with it.
there are, and I think the art of repairing instruments is becoming a lost art, like a lot of hands-on activities.
Yeah, you can't find people who do repair work.
There's a lot of, I didn't play flute or piccolo. There's lots of small little pads. I know on a French horn or baritone, the instruments that I did play, there were pads that had to be replaced from where the valves are, and strings on a French horn. But of course, the band director doesn't have that knowledge. You've got to find someone who does,
Right.
and I don't know, probably the closest instrument repair place would be Oklahoma City or Wichita for us. And so I don't know how to answer it, but it could very well be that something, if the new band person may be able, if they have that knowledge, would be able to possibly repair. But she's right, there comes a point sometimes when, if they've been dropped or there's something happened, but I don't know.
And if you guys have looked at
Oh,
them,
yeah.
and put eyes on them,
Yeah,
the band director,
right.
You have to trust
have
them.
a letter of resignation for them as well, so
Right.
trust you guys' judgment more on that.
Yes.
But as an old baritone player, I was good looking at it, because it may be better than one I currently am.
It is a possibility.
Yeah, you don't know,
It is a
People
possibility.
play
Could
by
always pull
itself.
the band list out. Look at it next month.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting for all of us to talk about the surplus some other time, about what it really means and what we can do with other things that maybe could be sold, because, you
Okay.
know, I think it'd be a good conversation.
Am I correct that things have to be surplus before they can be sold?
Yes.
So, I mean, and maybe that's what we're,
They go and they
We've
just
had
sit and rot
auctions
and
for
get-
years. We'd have big auctions once we got enough stuff. You know, one of our auctioneers in town would do a donation type auction for us. You know, I was looking at like these HP cartridges. out of the library. There's so much stuff here that's just obsolete anymore.
Right, some of it is.
And they're not allowed to just throw away like you and I would do.
No.
Right.
So, let's put that on our thought process, if that's something we need to start thinking about how that process works and if we can better it. We really don't always have a lot of them, just this time of year.
I think so.
People are cleaning house.
Yes, yes, and we're moving things, you're right.
Yeah. So, those are good questions.
Like I said, if you want to pull the band out, get a new band director hired,
Yeah,
they may have knowledge fix, I don't know. Without knowing why those instruments, if I look at the library list, their computers, I'm sure it's outdated technology. In Washington, I don't know, die-cut
Die cut machine.
What was it?
Die cut
Die-cut
machine.
machine.
Yeah, I
Just
mean, it weighs
wore
like
out.
75 pounds. It's been on top of a shelf, never touched for years.
Collecting dust.
Probably been there. We have one that we still use.
This girl will take it.
Do you wanna buy it?
well, I might.
Sell it to you for $10.
What is it, what? In the summer, so see, one man's trash sometimes is another man's treasure. We'll
If
have
you
to
guys
have
want to
some
pull the
nice-
band out,
There's no
and
dice
surplus
with
the
it,
other
it's
two, we
just
could do that,
really heavy.
with the band in a month. Or
We
August.
could.
Let's,
If it's surplus, it's still gonna be there. in
that's right,
January.
it's not going anywhere, is
I mean-
it? To me, it's not, so.
Well, it's your pleasure. You want
I would recommend that we, especially, specifically the band instruments, to see if we get a new band person, let them look at it and see what their thoughts are. And they may very well say, oh my goodness, no, they should have been thrown away 5 years ago. Okay, but depending upon their wheelhouse of knowledge, I just was thinking, somebody else might say, oh, I can fix that. I don't know. We always had band directors that fixed a lot of stuff, but I think they're not teaching that part of banding anymore either, so.
And we've been blessed with a donor
Yeah,
that's been buying a lot of new things for us, so I think that's probably something.
As for the computer things, all of that was looked at by Trevor and Kara. and they
Right.
both
I think
said-
I'm sure.
computers.
Well, I'm sure the
are-
computers are ancient.
It's-
Yeah, so, all righty. Well, let's pull out the band, please, unless they've already went to band heaven. All right, let's entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda with the exception of the band surplus.
second.
Hanson,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes,
McDermott,
Yes.
Pingleton,
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Okay. Vote to approve purchase order encumbrances for the following funds for fiscal year '24. We have the 4.1 general fund as referenced, 4.2 child nutrition fund as referenced, and 4.3 gifts fund as referenced. Mr. Argo did point out a few of the things that were large, so let's look at 515 and 4.1. This is, his note was, ladies, principals sign and review all purchase orders before they are sent to the central office. So if I have any questions, you guys could probably answer them for me, so thank you. Strawbridge was the graduation photos for families. That's one large item that was on there. Number 517, American Iron Construction, was $49,415.67 for the indoor facility light repairs. Remember, we had a lot of trouble finding someone that would do that, and they came in, and it looks like it's been done, so that's a good thing. 518, DT spraying and lawn care, another $3,000 for the football field mowing and spraying. This would be the practice field down here. 519, Vernier Software and Technology, $2,841. That's for Alva High School STEM supplies. Dr. Niswanger could provide information if you have any. 520, Amazon Capital Services, $1,487.59 is also some STEM supplies. 525, Hagerty, I think I said that right, $3,018, reading curriculum used. And it's been going to be reimbursed by the RSA funds. And Mrs. Tucker is our reading sufficiency coordinator. So she knows about that, and if you have any questions, we'll swing around Holden and we'll see what that is. Third grade reading sufficiency act, is that what those belong to? Okay. 527 is Croft Country Chevrolet. We have some repairs to our ag pickup. Okay, and replaced one ejector, so those ag pickups get a work over. Inside joke. 528, Amazon Capital Services, $3,051.36. This also is STEM materials for Lincoln's. It's going to come out of the grant that they got a few years ago, the OETTA grant, so that's money there to do that. 531, Northwestern Flooring and More, $8,485.19. We're going to replace the carpet in 2 classrooms at Washington. So that'll be nice, or is it in, or just getting ready?